And you want all your audio turned off on the computer.
This debate is now called to order. Resolved that the Constitution be amended to allow foreign-born citizens the right to enter presidential elections. On our proponency, as our proponency speaker, we have Jonathan Sen, and our opponency, Thomas Wall. Would anyone like to be timekeeper?
Not
Do you know the motions?
Yeah, do not unplug.
Okay. We will now start with the opening
Yeah.
6-minute
Just
speech
don't
by
unplug it.
Jonathan Sen.
Go on.
I will be arguing for the passing of the resolution of resolve that the Constitution be amended to allow foreign-born citizens to enter presidential elections. The Constitution should be amended to allow foreign-born citizens the chance to become president because it would truly be a demonstration of equal opportunity and diversity. Because the original reason for the Central Commission has been one part. In this modern era, American must embrace one another and allow those who aspire to be president the opportunity to do so. Otherwise, it would be a travesty and would undermine the very ideals America was founded upon. America, at the time of conception, the Natural Born Citizen Clause was instated, was undeniably weak. And so the possibility of another country infiltrating the presidential government in order to gain power was all too real. Senator Orrin Hatch, a Utah Republican, acknowledges that what most scholars regard as reason framers denied eligibility to naturalized citizens, concerned that a power foreign white might place themselves someone inside the young and fragile nation and try and to have that person elected president. Although that was a genuine concern at the time, there was no need for the revision in today's society. In today's government mechanisms, this system of checks and balances serves as a power barrier to consolidation of power. Thus, even if one were to infiltrate the ranks, the individual's power would already be severely apportioned. Another method to circumvent this would simply test the integrity of the individuals who were considering running for president. These tests would be an efficient, comprehensive assessment, gauging the individual's worthiness and intent. This is simply an example of just one method that is much better suited to determining an individual's patriotism. Thus, there is no current need for the Natural Born Citizen Clause in the Constitution, and therefore an amendment should be passed. Moreover, we see that even if an individual of malicious intent did infiltrate the presidential race and his views to the public, it would not be accepted by the majority of the populace. For example, if an individual wished to, if he was born in China, he was a Chinese spy or what have you, and he was arguing that we should give all refugees to China, no one would support that. And likewise, because there are many third parties that don't have any traction whatsoever because the general electorate do not support their ideas. And this is the same for anyone with malicious intent. So any attacks that may make on that behalf fall. If their views may be hidden, presidential elections serve as a microscope on these individuals. When Mitt Romney ran just this past election, focusing on facts about his past life, there was a documentary done by some news organization on his ancestry in Mexico. All these things come to light, tax records come to light, hidden marriage history, personal, everything comes to light, and it is highly doubtful that anyone will be able to perpetrate the United States if they had malicious intent. America has become a melting pot, meaning it has become a nation of great diversity and great cultural heritage. The number of foreign-born in the United States is increasing at a rapid pace, more than 1 million a year between 2000 and 2004. In order to reflect the fact that America is a nation of immigrants, the possibility of a foreign-born president should be instituted. Even the two major political parties, the Republicans and the Democrats, would be willing to accept foreign-born presidents and votes of various constituents. Thus, an amendment would allow foreign-born presidents America is also targeted as the one
Foreign-born?
the foreign-born and natural with opportunity to represent any element must be achievable, even if that must be American by foreign-born citizens. It is unfair to naturalized citizens because they are denied the opportunity to run, and unfair to the voters because they are denied the opportunity to choose our leaders. This policy was strengthened in the democratic system, allowing greater liberty to American public and allowing work with people to reign. It is for choosing American values to which the nation is founded. Thank you.
I'll go on that side.
Seeing as there are no questions, we will now have 6 minutes each by
Should I go on that side just to make sure? Okay.
There's a reason that the founding fathers only allowed natural citizens to be president, as they say in the Constitution, and that is to protect our country from foreign influence. We chose our president with our military, and someone born in our country, someone born outside of our country may not have our best interests in mind, or they may have close family ties in another nation which could prevent them from making the correct decisions militarily. Many times someone who's been living in the U.S. for even 20, 25 years, or they were born and raised in another country, refers to their country as their home country, and that demonstrates their loyalty. And a lot of people don't go back on their loyalty to their home country. Someone born abroad will not be exposed to the values instilled in our youth through the public school system, the American public school system, and that directly affects their decision making if they were to become president. And as my opponent argued, the correct foreign influence is like, hey, I don't see how it is. There's always going to be a foreign influence that has their agenda in mind rather than the country of the United States. Anyone else want to come forward?
You mentioned values in the beginning. Do you not agree that we're all raised differently and we all have different values?
Although we have different cultures, we all go through the same standards of education. And with this education, we also have certain morals and values that get passed along.
You say that people coming from out of the U.S. go to public school would affect their presidential views.
I said that people that do not go through American schooling system may not have the same values that are instilled into our nation.
Modern minority is a little bit paranoid to say that just because they're part of the religion should attack on them.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that they may have hesitations about something that would be better for the country, such as during wartime, because they might have close family ties to people in that nation, so they would hesitate to make decisions that they want their family, but would be better for the nation.
Do you think that there be any cultural differences that could be
Although the U.S. is a melting pot full of different cultures, our laws are geared towards certain moral standards that not every country has. So yes, I think that some problems could arise.
Does the speaker recognize that the resolution specifically emphasizes on the former president, not a foreign race president, so the president was born in the country and then blocked given extremely age? How would that differ from some sort of things because for the first few months or maybe doesn't have going on?
Well, usually somebody born in another country. Well, first of all, if you're born to two natural-born citizens in the U.S. outside of like abroad, you are a natural-born citizen if you're born abroad. And if your parents were not U.S. citizens or you were born abroad to the U.S. at an extremely young age, you're still very likely to have close family ties to that country, and that could create some problems during decision making.
You're saying that so the illegal ties to foreign nations will create a conflict of interest for a foreign president?
Yes.
you say that a person who does not attend elementary school here in the U.S. would then join middle school and high school all the way through all the way through college, and then became ran for president, would you say that he would be inadequate?
No, because somebody that has gone through, somebody that's lived most of their lives in the U.S. is probably going to have similar morals, but that's not the only conflict. There's also family conflict and foreign influence conflict, and they might still have loyalties to their own country.
Are you aware of the DRAIN Act? So I was born here, but I thought I was in Mexico, and a lot of so I do have strong family ties. So what makes me any different than somebody who was born in a different country, still has family ties, so it's just because of that fact? Like, we're the same thing. Like, we might have been raised here, doesn't matter, but what makes me any different from them? Why can I go?
Because, as I said before, people born in the U.S. usually have different standards than a lot of people born in other places, and their decisions are usually altered by those. I'm not saying that it's any better or worse, it's just how our country was originally planned out.
I second that.
Is this on? Max Fucci from Valence High School. Should foreign-born citizens be allowed to run for president? I'd say they should. The way people say that they shouldn't seems like a form of discrimination. I mean, we have foreign-born citizens in our Olympic teams. We have foreign-born citizens as senators, congressmen. They're in different positions. Why can't they be president? Okay. Some people might argue that they don't know this country that well, but they have to take a test, like Charles said. And in that citizenship test, they have to pass with at least 80% out of a 100-question test. Well, only those that are true, dedicated Americans can pass that. And another factor, Thomas said that they could be influenced by other foreign countries. Okay, World War II, when the Japanese bombarded Pearl Harbor, all the Japanese Americans were sent to camps. And how did they react? They were scared. They were true Americans. They weren't spies at all. Okay, we've already had that. Let's see what else. Sorry. Okay, I don't have time for questions.
During the case of foreign-born citizens who are United States legally, these countries, are they declared in the United States like that?
What I'm trying to say is that citizens are allowed to run for they're allowed to run for government positions. I'm just bringing that up as one of the many examples. Well, in a sense, it would show loyalty because they would have to know this country by heart. So,
the speaker mentioned that you need 80% of score on the test to pass that mathematical test. So I do it it's actually 60%, which is your score is 380.
Are there any subsequent speeches for the
Hey, just like to say hi to everyone. My name is David. I'm quite a talker. That's why I've been talking a lot at these conventions. I just want to first start out by saying one thing I learned here at the convention is there's a common stereotype is that if you're a conservative and you're a real, for lack of a better word, a real hard ass, and you got a swastika on your Mercedes, and you're a real SOB. And I think that's a very, very wrong stipulation a lot of people have. The previous speaker question, brought up the fact that you might be racist or a bigot if you don't want an American-born citizen to be your president. Well, I have to respectfully disagree with that. A lot of our founding fathers were not, the people who were born here are usually the third, fourth, fifth, so on generation Americans. Our founding fathers wrote the Constitution. George Washington, Andrew Jackson, and those first founding fathers were not living in the United States for years or decades. They were people who were new to this country in a sense. There was a new country at the time. But you could almost consider foreigners because they didn't have a 250-year-old country. It was a new country to them. And they, as foreigners in a sense, respected the fact that our office of the president, that they, what I'm saying is that the executive branch is something that should be respected if you're a Democrat or a Republican. I think the executive branch is probably one of the most honored and most important positions in the world. And I think that to have a person who doesn't understand the culture in the same sense as a naturally born citizen is not qualified for the position. And I'll be glad to take questions on that when the time comes up. Our Constitution has its faults. We understand that. Women weren't given the right to vote. The Indian was slaughtered in the thousands. Froze to death for decades. But to say, but in the sense, Constitution has been amended enough. I think everyone in this country has the rights that they need. I think that we amend the Constitution so many times it doesn't state the Constitution our founding fathers had, then we give up on our principles, we give up on our heritage, we give up on our culture. And I know too many people and too many family members and too many friends who fought in foreign countries and died there for that Constitution that our founding fathers wrote. And to look back, I think it's extremely...
Motion to extend seat assigned. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Nay. The ayes have it, 1 vote.
In conclusion, I just want to point out that, like I said earlier, our Constitution had its problems. We all agree on that. But we've had several amendments to fix what we have wrong. If we change the country so dramatically that we change the Constitution so much, what do we have left? It's not the United States of America anymore. Our Constitution has its original founding. Sure, it was wrong in some senses, but to change it to such a degree and to such a fine point as what this bill is proposing, we're changing our identity, we're changing our culture, we're changing our country, and it's disrespectful to the veterans who fought and died for this nation. And I absorb the rest of the time to the chair.
Hello, I'm Kyle Rodewald. I'm from and I'm here to speak on behalf of the pro side of this debate. And what I honestly believe, and what studies have shown, is that some people that immigrate into this country and study our culture of our country are more informed than other American citizens that were born in America. And that also, if a better suited candidate ran for presidency that is foreign-born, I would rather vote for the better-suited candidate than a person that was born and naturally into America. And also keep in mind that besides presidency, we accept foreigners with open arms into every aspect of our government and society. We even teach acceptance of difference in our school system. Who's to say that a foreign-born president wouldn't bring successful ideas and worldly values to our country? Also, these people are running for president. America isn't just going to be assigned some foreign stranger as the leader of our country. Keep that in mind. It's well studied and has researched being our president. It's not just some random person. There have been examples of foreign-born candidates running for our presidency, such as Barry Goldwater and John McCain, and that have been swept under the rug previously, and this has been stated in the debate prompt that you can see in your blue pamphlets. Thank you. The previous con speaker also stated that, and has tried to show exceptions to the law, and by claiming that there are problems with vague explanations, such as having family ties that would inhibit their ability to make good decisions for America. But the honest fact is that even if the candidate is born here, they also have ties in other countries. Think about it. They can make, and people that have ties with other countries, they can make more well-rounded decisions because they have a good sense of, they have a good ability to understand other countries because of it. Thank you, and I yield my time to questions. Yes, I do agree with that.
Are there any more questions? Okay, seeing as there are no more questions, your absorbs over time.
Thank you very much.
Are there any
Hi, I'm Jack Romine, and I live in America. You know, in America, we are increasingly globalized. We listen to Korean pop music, we eat Japanese food, hell, we watch foreign TV shows. But what is it about America that makes us American? Is it the Declaration of Independence, our Constitution, our right to bear arms? Or is it something deeper, more core to the inner American being? Is it something that can be found in this man right here? Or these gentlemen up here? I think it's something that can be found in all. If we talk about what makes a true American, and what American values truly stand for. I believe that Americans have the right to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I have run out of wire on the microphone. I feel that the American president should be American. Now, I know we have all these circumstantial things, like what if it's foreign-born at a young age and brought to America, the American education system. These are all hypotheticals, and I don't like entertaining hypotheticals because, frankly, I think they waste time. America has to have an American president because an American has American values. Now, I know that was a bit of a tautology, very redundant, but it gets the point across. America is America because America. I don't want a president who could be. I'm not going to bring up family little ties, but I'm saying that Americans can be pressured from foreign influence. Look at America during the Cold War. The KGB was a very competent institution from the Russians. What if they sent a Russian that put on the facade of an American that was able to deliver these United States to the Soviet Union? Now, I'd like all of us to stand. Please, if you could stand for me. And I'd like us all to demonstrate our patriotism. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I will be damned if the American president isn't an American. Thank you.
Over there, she was born in Venezuela, and her parents went to, she's Middle Eastern, and she stood up with us and she said the Pledge of Allegiance with us. Why? Because she is American. Just because you say the Pledge of Allegiance, that does not make you American. Anyone can say the Pledge of Allegiance, and that can tie your loyalty to America. Because America, it is. But what makes America? What makes America? Adriana over there, who has ties to a Mexican family somewhere, she's American. Yeah. My family that came from Mexico and immigrated here, my grandma, who is a citizen, is American. She votes. She voted for Obama, thank God. But just because you were born in another country and you came to America, that doesn't mean you're not American. And I hope you guys, a lot of you guys agree with me. The whole cultural thing, Nat told me a story just when we were sitting there, and she said that her cousin brought her child to be born here in America and then took her child back to Syria. He's American and he's being raised in Syria. What's going on there? He can come back and still run for president. But I'm just saying, Americans are Americans because of their culture and because they were here in America. What makes each and every person here American? Because we're Americans because we love that flag, because we're all here in JSA and we're all junior statesmen and we care about our country so dearly. So if you guys strongly believe that Americans are America is America because of America, then every person that is a citizen or not is American because they're American and they live in America. I mean, doesn't that make sense? No? Okay. So if you're born, whether you're born in America or you live in America, obviously there has to be some sort of regulation to this. You can't just live in another country and come and be a foreign. You have to live in America for a certain amount of time, right? I mean, that can be a regulation to this amendment, where you have to live. Someone please extend my time. Thank you guys, and vote again. Would anyone like to give a presidency speech? Wait, sorry. Do you have notes? Okay.
Now, unlike a majority of you in this room, I'm not fortunate. I was not born in America. No, I was born in London. However, and I still stood up there and said the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, I understand that I'm culturally different from everyone else, and I agree that I should not be president. Although I have been raised in America throughout my life, my values are different. My parents are not American. They haven't taught me. They haven't raised me the way American parents would. They haven't sat me down and told me why they immigrated, why their forefathers immigrated here, to this great nation of freedom, this melting pot of the world. They couldn't tell me the education they received here is some of the best in the world. They couldn't tell me that democracy is the reason that America has become a hegemon for the entire world. They couldn't tell me that capitalism, true American capitalism, is the reason why we're the best country on earth. No. Instead, they would fill my head with lies about European socialism and all that stuff. So, I'll ask, yes, I may have an American education. Does that mean I'm truly American? No, it does not. To be American, it's not just something that you can become willy-nilly. It's something that takes a while. It takes generations to become a true American. And I believe, and I hope, that my education in these great United States of America, I can put towards my children, to making them true Americans. So maybe that one day they can run for president. However, I do not believe I'm equipped or I'm able to become president because of my lack of education from my parents and that I was simply just not born here. Thank you. Also, one last thing. Addressing that John McCain wasn't born in America. He was born on a naval base, I believe, and that is American territory. Also, both of his parents were American citizens, and according to the decree made in 1790, if you're born of 2 American citizens abroad, you can become President of the United States. Thank you, and I yield the rest of my time to the chair.
Time is running out. Are there any motions on the floor? Seconds? All in favor? All opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Only one has set. Proponents and speakers.
Gotta take it with us.
Hello there. My name is Caroline Gay. I'm from East Corvallis High School. And I want to give you guys just a little refresher on your history courses. Do you remember how we got to America? It started with a bunch of people on a ship and they landed on a rock. And yeah, so they were escaping from their country. They were from another place. They were foreign. And they started out in America. And America did not start out as its own country. And our founding fathers, they were not American for a long time. They created a new nation. They were not technically American yet. They weren't. And addressing that thing earlier about the Constitution being amended enough, if we hadn't amended the Constitution, obviously there would still be slavery. And also if you said, okay, well, we've had enough amendments, we don't need to do it anymore, it's good enough. We had done that after Prohibition, you know, we wouldn't have alcohol. Nothing would be changing, nothing would be evolving. We wouldn't have the modern world. And we'd be stuck in the past. And also addressing just foreign-born presidents, we have this cutthroat system for electing presidents. And do you honestly think that just someone who's not going to have American values is going to be elected? Like, there's always the possibility that there's some spy who's going to be elected, but that could happen with American-born citizens as well. And the media does a pretty good job of exposing all sorts of things. So, that being said, I yield and have any questions.
May I give you a history lesson that first permanent European settlement in America was not part of as applied.
It was one of
No. I'm asking if I can be
Wait, but I didn't get my history lesson.
Are you aware that the first permanent European settlement in America was in Jamestown, Virginia, which was founded on commercial incentives by the London Company rather than Protestant separatists that came to put it?
I actually am, as a born Virginian, and but people coming to America, it was not just one migration. It was a bunch of different things. Does anyone here know Schoolhouse Rock? It's not just this group of people who interbreed and they have to be very, like, oh, we have to be American. No, it's a melting pot. Thank you.
Let me give you a history lesson on my stern day. So my grandfather was born in Vienna, Austria. And it was in the Holocaust. And migrated to Shanghai and to the States. Met a nice a girl from Canada, and had a child, my father, in Buffalo, New York. My father is American. My mother is Canadian, and I was born in Canada. But I am on the opponency because I agree with the past opponency speakers that I am, most of you might think that I am, but I'm not equipped to run for president. If I was allowed to run for president, then there's a lot of things messed up in the States. And although that the guy who said that the KGB spy thing, I'm sorry, but that's not a good point. I don't care, spy, that's why our states vote, but I do agree with the hesitation that if we had to declare war on Canada, I would hesitate. I would not declare war on Canada. It's like, come on, I was born there. And the thing with our forefathers is it's totally true that one group of the smartest people that's ever existed, and they created our country in their view.
I'm going to cut you off and get out for 3 minutes.
Thank you. My name is Peter Dick and I'm from Buckley.
Not my decision, I'm sorry. We will now have closing speech by the opponency.
As the proponents said, as the proponents argued that it was a matter of knowledge instead of loyalty that makes a person equipped to be president. It's just not true. Knowledge is not equal to loyalty. Just because they have to pass a test where they know a lot about the United States does not mean they necessarily have the United States best interest. They're just too
Hey, breaking down this wall, will this be the way? No, I'm gonna go that way. I'll plug it once the okay, so because I'm going to move it out.
Speech by the proponency. Can all the people that spoke during this debate please come line up to state your names after he's done?
Thank you, Chair. I'm going to end this debate on a more of a logical note than a silly or emotional one. Thomas brought up some great points, but this will find that they're not unique and they're simply untrue. He points out that there are influences, external influences, foreign influences. The person may be malicious, corrupt, they may have other nations at heart. But this is not unique because there are many other individuals who don't express the same ideals as all Americans. There's different parties. There's fracturing within the United States, and likewise, other just because they're born in other nations, they don't share American values. One thing you guys seem to really enjoy was America is America because America. I love this quote too, not because I am American or whatever, but because it shows the arbitrarity of our of national borders and national identity. Just because we're born American or we're born in Syria or Sudan or wherever we're born does not make us American or does not make us Sudanese. It is our values and our principles which will be reflected and shown in an election.
When you're done filling out the best speaker ballots, please bring them up to the front as quickly as possible.
Jonathan Sen, SE, and then Housing.
Stern Dick, Buckley High School.
Thomas Yeager, foreigner, Crested Carmelite High School. Jack Romine, non-xenophobe, Crested Carmelite High School.
Dick Nixon, Washington, D.C.
Mateo, Bell Gardens High School.
Caroline Gay, East Pueblos High School.
Kyle William Rodewall, Corona Del Mar High School. You all beautiful people.
Okay, we're going to vote on the resolution quickly. Resolve that the Constitution be amended to allow foreign-born citizens the right to enter presidential elections. All in favor, please stand. Okay, all opposed, please stand. All that abstain, please stand. Abstentions. Okay, this resolution fails 33-50 to 4.
hand, we just have a few loose ends to tie up. All right, so first off, let me just start out by saying that I'd like to congratulate each and every one of you on a fantastic convention. Yeah. This is my 7th fall state, and unfortunately it's my last fall state, but thank you, I love you all too. But I honestly could not think of a more convention to kind of end my JSA Fall State career, and I think I speak on behalf of all the other seniors in JSA who will be leaving us this year if we graduate high school. Just kidding. All right, so the good news is the dynamic discussion and all the exciting debate and all the interesting political activities, they don't have to stop here at Fall State Los Angeles. We have another convention we're planning for you all, which will happen in February, which is called Winter Congress, and it is one of our most engaging and amazing conventions. So I'm going to call up Valerie Edwards to talk a little bit more about Winter Congress and show you a video we put together.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to tell you a little bit about Congress. Winter Congress is our next convention. It is coming up on February 17th and 18th, and it will be taking place at the Torrance Hilton. Marriott, excuse me. It's different from any other convention because of the fact that it actually gets you guys involved. You write the bills, you debate the bills, and it's really fun, and it's a great way for you to be involved in the process of democracy. So your Lieutenant Governor and I, Grant Crater, prepared a little video for you, so I hope you guys enjoy.
She's freaking out. I can see she's freaking out.
So Winter Congress allows you to have a great effect on society around us, more so than the average convention does. You're allowed to introduce bills of your own choosing or your own topic that actually get sent off to Sacramento to the actual lawmaker's desk. Now, one prime example of this was Mike McCullen, who's a famous JSA who's now working in politics, introduced a bill in his time that was able to lower the voting age from 21 to 18. So because of that, he was able to spread civic engagement throughout all of America and allow for teens to get more involved in politics.
I love Winter Congress because you can meet cool people and you can debate political bills.
Winter Congress was great, and I loved it because it was the culmination of all the great debates and speeches that we had that normally have at JSA conventions.
The reason I love Winter Congress is because it's a chance to witness democracy in action, and really, it's
There's your own political parties. You get to meet with, in some cases, just like fairs, you get to meet with representatives in the parties. You get to meet a lot of new people.
Winter Congress is definitely an amazing experience. It's not like either Fall State or Spring State. It's basically a model of Congress.
I'm your Southern California JSA Governor, and I want to see you at Winter Congress. Congress, something to look forward to. All right, now with that, I'm going to call up our Director of Debate, Timothy Kang, and he's going to announce our best speakers for the weekend. Now, what I do ask is that if you do win a gavel, if you guys can either line up on either side here, because we just want to take a group picture after we've announced everyone. So come up, get your gavel, and then just chill out in the front of the room. All right.
Okay, so in Block 1, resolved that Puerto Rico should be annexed as the 51st state of the United States of America. This resolution fails with a vote of 27-24 to 1, and the best speaker was Clay Thabit from Trinagaman. Resolved that the death penalty be abolished. This resolution passes with a vote of 99-79 to 4. The best speaker is Ben Beatty from the Buckley School. Resolved that Congress pass the Buffett rule. This resolution fails with a vote of 6-46 to 1, and the best speaker is Kevin Kahn from Trinagaman. In Block 2, resolve that all national funding for Planned Parenthood be eliminated. This resolution fails with a vote of 28-75 to 4, and the best speaker is Alyssa Evans from Trinagaman. Resolve that medical marijuana be legalized nationally. This resolution passes with a vote of 118 to 18 to 8, and the best speaker is Ben Beatty from the Buckley School. Resolve that a moratorium be placed on hydraulic fracking across the United States. This resolution fails with a vote of 15 to 24 to 2, and the best speaker is Thomas Yeager from Pennsylvania. Resolved that the two-state solution is the most peaceful solution to the Israeli and Palestinian conflict. This resolution fails with a vote of 17 to 46 to 12, and the best speaker is Matthew Cohen from Tarbut v. Torah. In Block 3, resolve that the U.S. aid all international uprisings supporting democracy. This resolution passes with a vote of 22 to 18 to 5, and the best speaker is Vikram Bade from Resolved that Congress should repeal the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare. This resolution fails with a vote of 48 to 132 to 17, and the best speaker is Ben Beatty from the Buckley School. Resolved that America's current immigration policy violates the principles upon which America was founded. This resolution fails with a vote of 56 to 44 to 37, and the best speaker is Bruce Cassera from Cornell. Please respect the best speakers. Block 4, resolve that standardized tests such as the SAT should not have a major impact on college admissions. This resolution fails with a vote of 28 to 42 to 2, and the best speaker is Yvonne Cole. Resolved that national security take legal precedence over individual liberties. This resolution fails with a vote of 4 to 20 to 11, and the best speaker is Sean Flood from Santiago High School. Resolved Resolved, that marriage be legally defined as the union between one man and one woman. This resolution fails with a vote of 15 to 150 to 10. And the best speaker is Alexis Kalen from Camarillo. Resolved, that national debt will be the largest threat to American national security. This resolution passes with a vote of 29 to 23 to 13, and the best speaker is Adam Betters from Santa Barbara. Block 5, resolve that Google be prohibited from holding search records for any amount of time. This resolution fails with a vote of 11 to 57 to 6, and the best speaker is Alan Chen from Florida. Resolved that Supreme Court justices should have limited terms. This resolution passes with a vote of 55 to 15 to 0, and the best speaker is Matthew Cohen from Tarba v. Torah. Resolved that organizations such as the Boy Scouts should be abolished. This resolution fails with a vote of 16 to 50 to 24, and the best speaker is Ben Beatty. Resolved that major news outlets be required to declare their political stance. This resolution fails with a vote of 0 to 80 to 0. And the best speaker is Forrest Bainu from Dos Pueblos. In Block 6, resolved that the U.S. openly condemn China's human rights violations. This resolution fails with a vote of 26 to 23 to 9, and the best speaker was Derek, I can't pronounce your last name, from Marywood Palm Valley. Resolved that the distribution of tax dollars should be decided in part by public voting. This resolution fails with a vote of 10 to 28 to 3, and the best speaker is Kyle Rodwald from Corona del Mar. Resolved that the Catholic Church should not prohibit contraceptives. This resolution passes with a vote of 56 to 48 to 10, and the best speaker is Ben Beatty. Resolved that capitalism is the best economic policy in theory. This resolution passes with a vote of 48 to 19 to 4, and the best speaker is Andrew Logan from Corona del Mar. Oh, sorry. Okay, in Block 7, resolved that the United States should freeze public college tuition growth through 2020. This resolution passes with a vote of 46 to 29 to 10, and the best speaker is Mohammed Dalul from Granada Hills. Resolved that the Constitution be amended to allow foreign-born citizens the right to enter presidential elections. This resolution fails with a vote of 33 to 50 to 4, and the best speaker is Kyle Rodwald from Corona del Mar. Resolved that religious institutions should not be allowed to support political campaigns of any sort. This resolution passes with a vote of 30 to 15 to 0, and the best speaker is Malachi Jackson from Montebello. And finally, resolved that Congress pass a ban on the sale and possession of assault rifles. This resolution fails with a vote of 66 to 63 to 8, and the best speaker is Ben Beatty. competitive debates. In Block 1, resolve that the United States should enforce a system of electronic voting. This resolution fails with a vote of 25 to 49 to 1, and the winner of the Governor's Award is Victoria Yu from Harvard Westlake. In Block 2, resolve that genetically modified foodstuff should be banned from human consumption. This resolution passes with a vote of 42 to 33 to 0, and the best speaker is David Gumberg from Van Nuys High School. And in Block 3, resolve that civil disobedience in a democratic nation is morally permissible. This resolution passes with a vote of 61 to 18 to 5, and the Governor's Award goes to Joel Rosenthal from Palisades. And in artivism, resolve that abortion remain legalized. The resolution passed, and the winner is Chris Van Dam from John Burroughs. And that is all, and one more round of applause for everyone that won.
Congratulations to all the best speakers. All right, so we just have a few more short announcements and some brief public humiliation of myself. But before we get to that, I just wanted to announce some results of our Youth Advisory Board interviews. So for CAPS, you'll be contacted by Daniel Hamidi, our Director of Congressional Activities, regarding this opportunity. So for CAPS, Elizabeth Hubbard, Michael Hubbard, Daniel Gay, Zach Gerlich, Alicia Patel, Aini Levine, Dahlia Khan, Sarah Khan, Becca Baxis, and Alexis Callan. So congratulations. For Congressman Schiff, we have Zach Watson Field, Brian Kaplan, Eric Kent, Chris Van Dam, and Nathanielin Dal de Leon. I'm so sorry. Yes, so round of applause. And for Congressman Waxman, we have Zoe Clutton, Elizabeth Venturini, Joe Rosenthal, Jeremy Bradford, and Tuba Ali. And if you did not get selected for a Youth Advisory Board position and you would like to be involved in the future, you can email dhamidi@socal.jsa.org. Also, we really seek your feedback on these conventions because we want to make sure that every time we're continually improving the quality so that we can make your JSA experience as enjoyable as possible. So if you would like to offer any feedback, we'll be sending out a survey to all your chapter presidents for you to fill out if you wish. But any immediate feedback can be sent to myself, and my email is on the first page of the agenda, jdoss@jsa.org. All right, one other random announcement. I have someone's lovely iPhone with a cross-studded case, so if this is yours, come up afterwards. All right, now I never really thought that we would have to close a convention this way, but you know, I made a promise, and now I must suffer the consequences of this promise, so we're gonna have Sabrina Lieberman announce the totals and what I now have to do.
So here are the totals, but first of all, I'd like to let you know that the sum of this money, regardless of whether you gave it to Grant or Juliana, is going to the Angeles Region Fund, which funds scholarships for students to come to conventions like these who otherwise might not be able to. So thank you all for really contributing. That's wonderful. So people gave to Grant if they wanted to see Grant sing Taylor Swift, and people gave to Juliana if they wanted to see her rap. Luckily, I guess, I don't know luckily, but the people who gave money to Juliana ultimately won. So the totals, Grant raised $118, and Juliana raised $135.40. So we will now hear from your lovely Southern California Governor, a rap.
Hold on. And we have to be very careful because we don't want to offend anyone. So we kind of wrote something JSA related. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh my God. Okay.
You little statesman, I've got some news for you. You ain't ready for this convention till you've been all the way through. JSA is a quest that will test your soul, debating against each other for a final goal. Everything amounts to the final test. Will you debate the most? Will you be the best? First topic of discussion, parliamentary war. When you and your debates always want more. Professor Ernest Rogers founded the organization, and we're here today trying to teach you to be better statesmen. Conventions. Okay, all right. I love you too. All right, so with that, are there any other closing announcements? Am I forgetting anything? All right, with that, are there any motions on the floor? Gavel.
Motion to adjourn.
I heard a motion to adjourn. Can I get a second? Second. All those in favor? This concludes Fall State Los Angeles.